Hi everyone, this is Korosh Erfani, and today is Monday, October 27th, 2025. According to many news outlets, we are going to have a serious military conflict in the Caribbean region between Venezuela and the United States. United States is getting ready for a strike, and most probably even for the invasion of Venezuela. This is what is going to happen most probably in the coming days or weeks. Lots of people are asking why the United States needs to do so. Of course, one set of reasons we can say is related to the domestic reasons, the domestic conditions of the United States, including, as you can see, government shutdown, 8,000 US flights delayed. There is no more food in the SNAP, no more budget. Millions of people are somehow deprived of anything for eating or being paid, for example, for their work. And also we had a military incident in the South China Sea. So the situation is really bad. And let me show you another news, which is this one. As you can see, beginning from tomorrow, Amazon is laying off something like 30,000 workers. Okay, and this is just a beginning. And of course it goes to up to something like 600,000 workers. So the situation is really bad, right? And of course in this kind of situation, American government conventionally traditionally goes toward a war. War in the Middle East is right now too costly. So that's why maybe they want to start that with Venezuela. So the internal conditions are really worsening. And I think if in the coming hours there is no agreement between Trump and the Chinese president, we are going to have a serious issue tomorrow in the stock market in the United States. So that's why we have to account for the domestic conditions and the internal causes for this probable war in the United States. So that's one thing. Another one is a more strategic goal, because we know that Venezuela is the first global oil reserve, and it has more oil than Russia, Saudi Arabia, or any other countries. So that's why for the United States, it's really worthwhile to try that, right? To take the risk and to try to see if it can invade Venezuela, topple the government of Maduro, and taking control of the oil reserves of Venezuela. But the consequences of such a thing are really bad, essentially for those countries whose income is greatly depending on the oil income, the oil sale. So one of these countries is Russia. And the Russia cannot really imagine the oil price, for example, dropping 50, 60, even 70%. It's unimaginable for a country that is in war with Ukraine and also is sanctioned by Western countries, and it needs really to this income of oil. We should know that Russia is depending something like 85% for its income. I am talking about the foreign currency income on oil, and just on oil, 85%. It's not conceivable for Moscow to let the United States, going to Venezuela and take the control of oil, and then changing the price in such a sharp and radical way. So that's why we started to have some other news at the same time, because we know that the warmonger, like the senator, for example, the senior U.S. Republican, is telling Maduro's days are numbered, which means that we are getting closer and closer to the starting of war and invasion of Venezuela. So Russia has to act and to act rapidly, hastily and fast. So this is what they started to do, the Russians. First, we can see that they put an end to a nuclear treaty that they had with the United States regarding military-grade plutonium disposal. So there is no more disagreement, and each country can do whatever it wants regarding the plutonium, which is another possibility to create the atomic bomb, to nuclear bomb. Okay, so that's the first thing. Russia did that even today, immediately. The second one is the test of a new cruise missile that is completely game-changing. You see here, a former U.S. Army officer is talking about this new cruise missile as a game changer. We are talking about the new missile called Brovesnik. Brovesnik is a huge monster with something like 14,000 kilometers, having a nuclear head, having the nuclear fuel, and that's why it can go very far. It can be, in the orbit for days and days before heading toward, a target. So it looks like that there is no really defense, any air defense system in the world that can defend or can neutralize such a cruise missile, and it can bypass all the air defenses, including those of the United States. So this is a direct answer of Moscow to the United States that if it goes toward Venezuela for invasion, for a serious war, it can effectively trigger a world war, and Russia is ready for that with something that cannot be contained, by the Americans. So you see how serious Russia is regarding this issue. We are talking about that. And another one is to seal, and a new treaty, a new agreement with Venezuela is a question of a strategic alliance between these two countries. And of course, based on that, Russia is providing a lot of new weaponry to the Venezuela in order to be ready for defend themselves. So that's why right now we can be sure that potentially a possibility for an international conflict is gathering in the Caribbean region around Venezuela, and Russia is seriously involved in that. I am pretty sure that if the United States doesn't take into account this possibility, everything can go, sideways, and we can be witnessing simply the starting point of international conflict that can be translated and developed into a world war. So this is a serious matter. I think we have to follow it up to see how Russians are organizing effectively with the Caracas to defend Venezuela, And of course, there are other countries that will be involved. And I am even projecting that if there is no tariff, successful tariff negotiation and agreement with China, that China also will be highly concerned about what is going on for Venezuela, and there is a possibility to effectively to organize a kind of involvement or intervention. So we have several points, as I said in the previous videos. We have the war of Ukraine with Russia. We have the Middle East, which is potentially a huge regional war that's coming with Israel, Iran, and other countries. And the third point is here in Venezuela, and maybe with everything that's going on right now with the trip of President Trump in South Asia, maybe a fourth point of conflict would be there between China and Taiwan. These are the potentials, and we have to follow it up to see which one will be translated into a real and actual conflict, and supposing and being able to expand to become maybe this international conflict that we are talking about, a real, worldwide conflict that can become easily the Third World War. This is just a possibility, and we have to monitor, and I am going to talk more about that in the coming videos. Thank you very much for watching this.